Listen closely, because this is not a small message, and it is not something to brush away like it means nothing. There is someone deeply connected to your heart, and right now they are standing inside a problem that has become too big for them to carry in silence. It is touching their thoughts. It is shaking their peace. And whether you fully see it yet or not, it is reaching your side too. Something is changing behind the curtain. Something true is moving in a quiet way that cannot be clearly seen yet, but it can still be felt. You may have already noticed it in strange little moments, in sudden thoughts that appeared for no reason, in memories that came back without warning, or in that heavy feeling that sits on your chest when life seems normal on the outside. That feeling is not random. It is a signal. It is telling you this bond is passing through an important season. So stay with this. Do not skip past it. What you are about to hear may explain what your heart has been trying to understand in silence. What is happening now could become a turning point in ways you do not expect yet. The person tied to you is carrying confusion, pressure, and emotions they can no longer fully hide from themselves. On the outside, they may still look fine. They may act normal. They may stay busy and speak like everything is under control. But inside, something is catching up with them fast. Thoughts they avoided are coming back. Feelings they pushed down are starting to rise. This moment is not asking you to panic. It is asking you to pay attention. It is asking you to stay calm. Because what comes next is not here to scare you. It is here to be understood. And once you understand it, you will see why this matters more than it first appears. There is a door inside them that has been closed for too long, and now life is slowly pressing against it. Their real battle is not only with outside pressure. The deeper fight is happening inside their own mind. It is the fight between what feels safe and what feels true. For a long time they tried to keep moving without facing certain emotions. They told themselves that staying distracted would be enough. They believed time would fix what they were avoiding. They thought they could bury certain memories, silence certain feelings, and still continue as if nothing important had happened. But some truths do not stay buried. Some emotions always rise again. And some connections do not lose meaning just because they are ignored. They stay alive in quiet ways, even through distance, even through silence. That is where they are now. Thoughts they once escaped are returning when the day gets quiet. Feelings they tried not to feel are getting louder inside them. Their heart is asking questions their mind can no longer avoid. That creates tension they do not know how to explain. One side of them wants clarity. Another side is afraid of what clarity may demand. One side wants to come closer. Another remembers pain and pulls back. If their energy has felt mixed, this is why. If they seem near one day and far the next, this is why too. It is not always because they do not care. Many times it is because they care more deeply than they know how to manage. And when feelings become too strong and too messy, people often step back, not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much. Keep listening, because this part matters. Their confusion is not empty. Their hesitation is not meaningless. Pressure is building toward a moment they will not be able to avoid forever. You may not see everything from the outside, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Some of the biggest changes start in silence, deep where no one else can look. Think about roots under the ground before a tree rises into view. Think about a foundation being laid before a house stands tall. Emotional change often works the same way. It begins in secret before it appears in action. Your person is in that hidden stage now. They are starting to see that what once felt comfortable no longer gives them peace. Old distractions are losing power. The things they once used to escape their feelings are not working the same. Silence feels louder. Distraction feels weaker. And the emotions inside them are becoming harder to ignore. Something deeper wants honesty. And honesty changes the direction of a life, even when that change feels uncomfortable at first. The moment someone clearly sees what they have been avoiding, They cannot fully return to pretending. Something shifts for good, even if it moves slowly. That is why restlessness has been growing. That is why certain thoughts keep circling back. That is why this connection keeps showing up in their mind, even when they try to focus on something else. You may be feeling something similar too. Maybe memories return out of nowhere. Maybe your emotions rise without a clear reason. Maybe something between you and them still feels unfinished. Do not ignore that feeling, but do not let it steal your peace either. There is movement here. Quiet movement, but real movement. And when inner change begins, outer change usually follows later. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in time. Your role right now is not to force answers. It is not to chase clarity before it is ready. And it is not to create stories just to calm your uncertainty. Your role is to stay steady while things unfold on their own. That is real strength. Not loud strength, not chaos, quiet strength. The kind that stays calm when feelings rise. The kind that does not break just because answers are delayed. The kind that does not let fear write the ending before truth has even spoken. This season is teaching both of you something important. While they are learning accountability, you are learning patience. While they are learning honesty, you are learning trust. While they are learning courage, you are learning emotional balance. These lessons are not easy, but they are shaping something deeper in you. Many people lose meaningful bonds not because those bonds were false, but because they reacted too fast. They let fear speak louder than understanding. They made choices in moments of uncertainty that later filled them with regret. You are being pulled away from that pattern. So if your heart has been restless, slow down. If your mind has been racing with assumptions, step back. If you have been tempted to expect the worst, pause and look again with more patience. This is not the season to destroy your peace with fear. This is the season to protect your peace while truth slowly reveals itself. And if this is touching something inside you, stay with me because there is more here than what first appears. The truth is your person is getting tired. Tired of carrying unfinished emotion, tired of replaying old memories in their mind, tired of acting like certain feelings no longer exist, tired of wondering what could have been, and tired of holding something that never fully settled. This kind of tiredness matters because sometimes exhaustion becomes the point where avoidance stops working. A person can only run from emotion for so long before running becomes heavier than facing it. That is where they are slowly moving. They may not fully understand it yet. They may still hesitate. They may still move back and forth between clarity and confusion. But something inside them is changing direction. The comfort they once protected is starting to feel less safe than the truth they have been avoiding. And when that shift begins, life can move faster than anyone expects. A conversation that once felt impossible can suddenly happen. A truth that stayed buried can start to rise. A guarded heart can begin to open. So if things have felt slow, do not assume they will stay that way forever. And if things have felt distant, do not assume distance is permanent. Some of the biggest changes arrive after long silence. Some of the clearest truths appear after long emotional waiting. Your job right now is not to lose hope. Your job is to stay aware, stay steady, and stay open enough to notice when things begin to change in real life, not only in feeling. There are also outside influences around them, and not all of those voices are helping. Some are pushing them toward growth and reflection. Others are pulling them back toward comfort and avoidance. Some situations are making them think more deeply. Others are giving them distractions, so they do not have to face what truly matters. That is part of why their energy may feel unstable. Some days they feel clear. Other days they feel unsure again. Some moments they seem ready. Then fear comes back. Old wounds open. Hesitation takes over one more time. But do not mistake hesitation for lack of feeling. Often hesitation comes from feeling too much at once and not knowing how to hold it in a healthy way. They are wrestling with vulnerability. They are wrestling with emotional change. They are wrestling with the question of what happens after truth is finally spoken aloud. That fear is real. But fear is not stronger than truth forever. At some point, truth becomes louder, and when that happens, things begin to shift in ways that are hard to ignore. You may notice small signs first: a softer tone, a more honest message, a change in energy, a response that feels more real than before. Do not miss those small signs. They matter more than they seem. Growth rarely arrives in perfect form. It usually comes in pieces, slow pieces, awkward pieces, but even small movement is still movement. If you only wait for a perfect moment, you may miss the first signs of genuine change. And that would be a mistake, because sometimes the earliest shift is the most important part of the whole story. At the same time, something important is happening inside you as well. This season is not only shaping them, it is shaping you. You are learning how to keep your peace without closing your heart. You are learning how to trust your inner knowing instead of always needing outside reassurance. You are learning how to stay grounded even when answers take time. And you are learning how to remain emotionally balanced when life feels uncertain. These are not small lessons. They stay with you long after this situation changes. So keep going with patience. Keep your heart open but not overwhelmed. Keep your mind clear but not fearful. Let time do what it needs to do without forcing outcomes before they are ready. Because what is meant to become clear will become clear. And that matters because the next phase of this connection will need maturity from both sides. Not perfection, maturity. The ability to listen without rushing to defend. The ability to speak honestly without turning every fear into a fact. The ability to pause, understand, and answer with care instead of reacting too quickly. Maybe a year ago this would have shaken you much more. Maybe back then, uncertainty would have taken over your thoughts in minutes, and your emotions would have been pulled in every direction. But you are not that same person now. Life has stretched you in quiet but powerful ways. Delays did not only test you, they shaped you. Disappointment did not only hurt you, it strengthened your ability to stand up again. Every hard season gave you something. Even if you did not see it at the time, none of it was wasted. It all helped build the person you are becoming. It prepared you for a moment like this, where emotional steadiness matters more than emotional reaction. And that kind of steadiness is rare. It is built slowly, through experience, reflection, pain, and growth. So do not ignore your progress. Do not only focus on what still feels unfinished. Look at who you have become while walking through all of this. Notice how your reactions have changed. Notice how your heart does not jump into fear as quickly as it once did. Notice how you can hold uncertainty without breaking inside it. That strength will matter when the next chapter starts to open. And that next chapter may not begin in a dramatic way. It may not come with huge confessions or overwhelming scenes. It may begin quietly, through a simple message, through a calm talk, through a moment where silence starts to feel heavier than honesty. And when that moment comes, do not expect perfection. Expect sincerity. Expect real human feeling. Expect pauses. Expect unfinished thoughts. Expect truth to come slowly instead of all at once. People rarely open their whole inner world in a single breath. Most of the time they reveal it step by step, in small pieces that slowly build a larger picture. Sometimes, the first sign of change is not a grand declaration. It is simply that someone stops running from what they feel. And even that small shift carries meaning, because when avoidance ends, awareness begins. And when awareness begins, the whole situation starts to move. If that moment comes, do not only hear the words. Listen to what sits underneath them. Pay attention to the energy behind the message. Notice the effort it took for them to speak honestly. Notice the shift from silence into expression. Notice where truth is trying to form in the place where fear used to control everything. This matters because real change often looks softer than people expect. It does not always arrive with bold language or perfect confidence. Sometimes it arrives through hesitation. Sometimes it comes through imperfect honesty, through someone admitting what they have carried for a long time but never knew how to say. That kind of honesty may look small from the outside, but it can change everything. So stay calm, stay wise. Do not let old fear make you misread new truth. This story is still unfolding, even if parts of it still feel quiet and still. Even now, when it seems like nothing is happening, something is becoming clearer. Something is slowly arranging itself into the next stage, and when that shift becomes visible, your emotional balance will matter more than anything. It will help you answer with clarity instead of panic. There is a reason this connection has felt heavier lately. There is a reason your intuition has felt stronger. There is a reason certain memories, thoughts, and feelings keep returning without warning. These patterns are not random. They are part of a deeper process, asking for awareness, not confusion. This season is not only about emotion, it is also about growth. It is about finally facing what was left unresolved. The pressure you feel is not here to destroy, it is here to reveal what is real and what can no longer stay hidden. Fear always wants fast reactions. It wants assumptions. It wants quick protection. It wants you to close your heart before anything can hurt you again. But wisdom moves differently. Wisdom asks you to stay grounded, to observe, to wait until truth is clear instead of reacting to what is still uncertain. That difference matters now more than ever, because what is happening here is not only emotional, it is deeply personal growth on both sides. It is about self-awareness. It is about seeing patterns that have repeated for too long. It is about learning a healthier way to answer emotional truth. The pressure around this bond is not here to break it. It is showing what is strong enough to last and what can no longer remain hidden. That is why feelings are closer to the surface. That is why small moments feel bigger than usual. That is why silence feels heavy instead of empty. Under all of this, growth is happening. Growth inside you, growth inside them, growth inside the connection itself. And growth is rarely comfortable. It often feels confusing before it starts to make sense. So if you are still here, keep listening, because this is where everything begins to matter even more. Clarity does not arrive all at once. It comes slowly. It comes through choices, through moments of honesty, through small changes in behavior and understanding. Little by little, things begin to make sense. Even if you cannot see the full picture yet, hold on to that. Especially if you have been tired of waiting or unsure of what comes next. The story is not over. It is still moving. And what happens from here will depend on choices that have not fully been made yet. Their choices matter. Your choices matter. The choice to stop hiding feelings matters. The choice to speak instead of assume matters. The choice to meet truth with openness instead of fear matters. They are getting closer to a point where they will have to decide whether to keep silent or finally face what they feel. And you are getting closer to a point where you will have to decide whether fear will control your peace or wisdom will guide your response. That is why this moment is important. Not because everything is already decided, but because something is becoming ready to change. This is not only about what they feel, it is also about who both of you are becoming through all that has happened. Real connections are not proven in easy times. They are revealed in uncertain ones. They are shaped when clarity is delayed and feelings are complicated. If something is real, it does not disappear just because the path becomes difficult. It is tested, refined, strengthened, or released. And if you have been wondering whether anything meaningful is taking place, the answer is yes. Something meaningful is happening. Something deep is shifting. Old silence is weakening. Old resistance is losing its grip. Old confusion is slowly breaking apart. And through that breaking, something more honest may appear. Something clearer. Something more real than before. When that truth begins to rise, your peace will help you meet it with understanding, instead of emotional overload. Protect your heart, but do not harden it. Stay open enough to see the truth, but steady enough not to lose yourself in the waiting. Because the next movement in this story may arrive sooner than you think, and when it does, you will need clarity more than fear. So remember this as you keep moving forward. The struggle they are facing will not last forever. The confusion will not last forever. The waiting will not last forever. Every season changes, even the slow ones, even the heavy ones. Every experience teaches something in time, and no matter how this unfolds, you are already more prepared than you were when this journey began. That matters more than you may realize right now. This chapter has not been empty pain. It has been preparation. It has been building your emotional strength. It has been teaching patience, awareness, and control. It has been helping you value peace more deeply and trust what is real, even when it is not fully visible yet. They are learning too, even if their progress is slow and imperfect. Awareness is growing inside them. Pressure is turning into decisions that cannot be delayed forever. Something inside them is moving toward a point where silence will no longer feel comfortable. So let this be your reminder to stay steady. Not shut down, not cold, just steady. Let fear grow quiet. Let wisdom become louder. Let patience do its work without interruption. Because some of the biggest answers do not arrive with noise. They arrive in still moments, when everything slows down, and the truth that was hidden finally begins to show itself. The story is still moving. The truth is still rising. And the next chapter is much closer than it looks. So breathe. Stay centered. Watch carefully. Do not rush the ending before the next scene has even begun. What is meant to come forward will come forward. What is meant to be understood will be understood. And when that moment arrives, the strength you built in silence will be the very thing that helps you handle it well.